Let's read a little bit about Lior. Who is Lior? Lior Ofir is a former Israeli Navy SEAL, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and world champion. He has dedicated his life to teaching different communities how to protect themselves. Lior co-founded StandStrong in 2019 and sees the organization as his life's mission to help empower and protect people through the skills and values of self-confidence and also self-esteem. Lior, welcome to the Jewish Florida podcast. This is actually our second episode, and we are so honored to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for accepting the invitation. Where are you now? Where are you located?
Now I'm located in Davie, Florida, which is pretty close to Fort Lauderdale, and enjoying the weather.
Amazing, yeah. That's great. Lior, were you always passionate about self-defense?
The matter of fact, no, I wasn't always passionate about it. I was more passionate about, in general, sports. I just love sports as a teenager. I think what really attracted me to, I would say, martial arts and self-defense is the fact that if you, for instance, going to the gym, just lifting or any other thing you're doing, or even if you're running marathon, right? Whatever kind of sport you're doing, if you're not doing it, let's say for 6 months, due to injury or for whatever other reason, you just stop and for, because you're busy in life or work, whatever, what's going to happen when you're going back to the gym, you're starting from scratch again. With martial arts and in particular self-defense, everything you learn, even in 30 years from today, it's still tools that you remember. So yes, you're not going to be as fast and as sharp as normal, but definitely remember. So if I show you, for instance, do a specific move, how to protect your face, you will always remember that, even if you do it for 1 day or you do it for 100 days in a row. So this is what really attracts me. It's a knowledge that goes with you for the rest of the life. So this is why I think the passion came from. Like, it's actually like you're going to university, you're learning something, and this is, wow, like I will remember that. So
Wow, that's amazing. So the capacity of using that knowledge forever, that's what really takes you here to.
exactly. And another layer for that is that the fact that there is always something new to learn. So for instance, I really like to ride bicycle, and there is, like, you can see different views and stuff, but you cannot learn something new. Like, what to expect when you're starting the ride and when you will finish the ride. The feeling, you have your equipment, maybe you're buying a new bicycle, but that's pretty much it. And with martial arts and self-defense, there is always something like, every time I will step on the mat, I will say, wow, this is brilliant. Like, I never saw this before, or I cannot wait to do it again, or this is amazing, so.
There's always like new ways, because also like people have new ways to attack people. So I guess you also find.
Always. It's very dynamic. Yes.
For example, if you were to show us that, it got me like wondering that you say like how to protect your face. How do you do it? Can you show us here?
Yeah, I mean, in StandStrong, we teaching those classes in StandStrong for free. We have few programs. One of the programs is kind of like one time, get the taste of what the program has to offer, which you already have, you learn something. But basically, what you really want to do is to have your hands, either you're closing your fist or open your fist. You want to have your hands very close to the jaw, so you can always protect. If somebody swings his hands or trying to push you, you can protect your face. Now, the reason why it's important to protect your face is not like the other part of your body, is because if you try to swing, for instance, your hand through my hand, even my ribs, my belly, my legs, there is a certain amount of impact I can absorb. Even if you swing a broom on my hand and I will break the hand, it's still I can absorb it for a few times at least. With the head, you cannot. Even a small, if somebody poke you, a small something like that, you're feeling not right on your face, it's right away stop everything, right? The game is over pretty much. So the head protecting your face, it's essential.
Oh, it's
So
the most
it's
important.
already the what?
It's the most important thing to
The
protect.
most important thing, yes, because you cannot absorb impact, not even the lightest. So again, those kind of principles that we are teaching in StandStrong and in general, it's important to understand it. Now you will never forget that this is the most
Yeah.
important thing to protect your face. Now, how you do this? Yeah, you need to practice it to be better, and so it will come a little bit more natural, 100%, especially when you stress in like a real life situation or something like that. But this is always valid. So that's great.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I will never forget.
Yeah.
Hope to never use it, but I will never forget. And Lior, tell us a little bit more about how Stand Strong was born. What's the story behind it?
Actually, it's pretty interesting story. So I used to work in a different industry completely just for a living. I pretty love even my job. I was good at it, doing good money. Nothing to complain. Nothing special to complain. But I felt there is something missing. I came from Israel around 6 years ago. I actually moved to Chicago in the beginning, and I worked for the other company, and I said something is missing. I wanna do something a little bit more significant than just doing money. Like this is not why I'm here. Like I want to do something. And then I said, you know what? I know like self-defense and then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as you mentioned, also Krav Maga expert. So I said, let me bring something else to others. So I started to volunteer, completely volunteer, to different communities, from synagogues to churches to schools, from public school to private schools to Jewish school, to everywhere I was needed. A lot of fun. I met a lot of amazing people that care about their audience, and they all care about their families and friends. And with the time, I am to assume that I did a fair job or a good job, I will say, and I grew my reputation in the community in Chicago, and demand started to come. I was started to be invited to many sessions, more than I actually capable. So I said, you know what? You have here something, the community needs it. People need to know how to protect themselves. This is like the most fundamental thing for every individual on this planet, to feel safe, right? I mean, this is before you know what you want to eat, you want to close your doors at night so you can sleep well, right? You can sleep safe. So,
Yeah, I'm from Venezuela. I know what you're talking
right. Listen, it's as a father, as a young father, the first thing I did, is to put the gate for the swimming pool, because I don't want my kid to fall to the pool. Why? Because I want him to be safe before I'm thinking about, how beautiful my apartment is. So then I started to be a little bit more busier from that. So I pivot to do it full time, to give those classes. I
about.
felt great about it. Yes, that was my only focus. And then my co-founder for StandStrong is a guy from LA. He's actually was originally from Chicago and then Miami, then LA. Long story. He's a big philanthropist in the Jewish world, and he said, like, I really want to give people tools to be safe. He was always, as a teenager, he from Chicago originally, and he went to a public school. He was the only Jewish in the school, and he was always tested, I would say. As a Jewish, he was like targeted, and he learned wrestling, and never, like, nobody could really bully him because he was strong. So he said, I came from poor family, but I had these tools to know how to really empower myself and how to protect myself. So I want to give it to every child, every kid in the world, if we can, especially in the US, to at least be able to stand up, to speak up, and not be intimidated by others, especially for the fact of being Jewish. But regardless, like any, any hatred or bullying or any anti-Semitism shape, it's something we cannot tolerate. It's something we have to stop. We have to, unfortunately, that's the reality, but it's something we have to face on a daily basis, pretty much in the world. So we came up with this StandStrong organization. It's a not-for-profit, and all the classes we are doing are completely free of charge. Nobody is paying a dime. We have amazing donors like Ted, my co-founder, that they are sponsoring the whole program, and this is how we empower others, and it's going amazing. Now everything is via Zoom, so it's even easier to do that. Now, when I move to Florida, hopefully we'll be able to reach out to more communities now in Florida. That's our next target area.
Yeah, for sure. And at the end of the interview, we're gonna give all the data for people
Yeah.
to donate to this beautiful cause, to this beautiful organization. But before we move on with the topic, have
Okay.
you ever faced anti-Semitism and you had to defend yourself?
I had different occasion. I think the case that I'm proud the most, that I knew actually what to do is, so one of the days in Chicago downtown, before even when I just volunteered a little bit, before I moved like as a full-time do it, I remember myself, I left the office and I took the shortcut to the to the train, the subway, via one of the alleys. And then there I just saw an homeless guy who was completely drunk, and he was basically blocking a female, like she was like a small Asian female, and he tried to force himself on her. I will say it gently. It was not still in a position where he already he's already there, but he was on the way, I will say. I'm not going into much details, but it was pretty bad situation for her. And what I did, I think it's all of us, we are obligated to help in this situation, but mainly me. For me, this is me. This is like a case for me to step up and do something about it. So what I did, the first thing I did is I went between them and I kind of like shoveled the lady behind me, so he cannot touch her. At least that's the first thing I did to make sure she's safe for the moment. And what happened, he was completely drunk, so he tried to go around me. So he tried to go from around me, and I was kind of like protecting her, making sure she's like behind me, safe. I got her, and then what happened? He became upset on me, so he started to push me pretty much.
Wow.
Then at this point, I said, okay, first of all, mission accomplished. She is safe. So I told her, you can leave. Like, go, you're safe, leave. I will handle it. Don't worry about it. And then she left, and then he was even more upset on me. So basically, what happened is I tried to look. My goal was to go to the train, go back home. I didn't look for any trouble, so I told him, "Listen, buddy, like if you picked the wrong person on this planet to pick a fight with, that's me. I don't want to hurt you. So just stay away, back off, and stop doing these troubles to other people." Now, look, I mean, she's safe. The situation for me, like, there is no more risk for him. Now, I'm not a police officer that I need to do anything. I wanted to just go home, just finish my day. So basically, what happened? He was still, drunk, and he still tried to kind of like test my abilities. And what happened is, I think, due to my confidence and the way I was so calm in this position, and my messaging to him, like, listen, I don't want to hurt you. Like, this is pretty. Imagine that you picking a fight somebody, and the other guy is telling you, listen, I really don't want to hurt you. Like, I don't, stop. I'm telling you that's for you. Like, don't test me. And he was at some point he was intimidated from that. Like he was actually he stopped because this the way I was projecting my confidence. So long story short, basically it's pretty much ended there. I didn't raise a finger on him, although I was ready if of course necessary, because I knew he already was dangerous. So I was ready for every scenario. But the reason why I'm very proud of it, first of all, because I helped this this lady that I don't know her, but it was amazing thing to be able to really help a person from being in a life-changing event for the rest of her life. Who knows, right? I mean, I don't even know, want to think what would have happened if I wasn't there, to like clearly nothing. And this is I think due to the training that, you know, I even more proud of me not raising a finger on him, because again, my goal, I'm always saying, the self-defense definition for me is to get home safe. When you're starting your day, you're drinking a coffee, you're going to work, you're meeting friends, you're going to drink a beer, whatever it is, weekday or weekend, and then you want to go back home and, you know, finish your day. Let's, you know, watch TV and go to sleep. So this is self-defense for me, to be able to do this routine over and over again, right? So I mean, when I'm going to the office or going to work or anywhere I go, I'm not looking for trouble. I'm looking for to enjoy life and go back home. So I think this is the story I'm more proud of out of anything, because this is like clearly the pure definition of knowing self-defense to encourage you to build your self-esteem and self-confidence, which helps other and yourself to overcome like catastrophic situation.
That's really amazing. Like you really saved her life. Like all the
Yes.
emotional trauma she will have if that happened, it will be.
And I cannot, you know, I have goosebumps while I'm talking about it, but I cannot express her feelings and her eyes when I turn around and I told her, you can leave. I got you. You're safe. And she was like from completely shocked panic to, wow, I don't believe it just saved my life right now. You know, it was like that simple. Like that was too simple for, you know, like for the scenario she was. So yeah, I agree with you. This is amazing. You know, this is really something special, you know,
Yeah,
to
you
know.
saved her physically and her mental health
Yes.
forever.
And I'm sure she will never forget it. I have no doubt in my mind.
And you don't know her name.
I never saw it. I don't even remember her face. I just remember she was smaller and Asian. That's it.
Crazy. It's a great story. Great story. And I was seeing in the website in StandStrong that you have like level Aleph, Bet. So these are, and that there were upcoming events. Like I think it's like on like every certain days you teach different levels, right?
So basically every day, like even for today, Sunday, we had like 2 sessions. Every day we have like at least 1 or 2 sessions. It depends. It's the way we work. We only want to make sure that our instructors, by the way, we have 2 instructors in Israel, one in Jerusalem, one in Haifa. We have one instructor in Chicago and one instructor in Florida, besides me. So we have like team, you know, all around the world, pretty much, I would say. Um, and for us, we just want to make sure that our instructors, our coaches, teaching a good amount of students. So everything, as I said, is via Zoom. Our plan is, you know, post-COVID to renew the in-person training. This year for 2021, hopefully the vaccine will be, you know, we'll finish this COVID situation. But we want to be in Miami, or I would say South Florida mainly, Chicagoland, and some areas in LA. And we're going to have an instructor, and they are going to run between, you know, between schools and synagogues and community groups. So what we're doing now with the Zoom is we having, let's say, a group of, you know, whatever, a JCC or a community group from Stand With Us to BBYO, any other community group you want to arrange. You say, I have 10 or 20 friends, we wanna do Stand Strong. And then we basically started to run level Aleph, like you mentioned. That level Aleph is 6 sessions, all via Zoom. That in every session it's around 45 1 hour workout of intensive workout, like no, keep going. You have water break, but it's actually like you sweaty, like in the end of the session, you're really sweating. It's hard workout with push-ups and like, other good IDF kicks. And then basically this is 6 sessions for level Aleph. And if you complete level Aleph, you are capable of joining also level Bet, which is another 6 sessions. So yeah, now sometimes we have groups that they don't want to commit yet to 6 sessions. So we have this offer of a demo. So for instance, now we have a group of people that you want to just try it to see if somebody wants to do more. And then we're doing one demo of kind of like show them the potential, show what we're learning, what we're doing. And then after the demo, what we're doing, as I said, we're just opening level Aleph, not necessarily only with the group. And then all the people that want to join are kind of like popping in and we can join the classes. So every time you have different options. So you can just pick any date and train.
Oh, amazing. And it's totally free.
Everything is free. Everything is free. There is nothing behind it. The only thing is we are only care to teach, the more the merrier, the better job we do. That's the only thing we care about. Everything is founded, sponsored. Just come and enjoy a good empowering session.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Really amazing.
We're very proud of this fact, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you should be. You should be. And does anti-Semitism scare you?
I think you shouldn't be scared of something you know. You're mainly scared about something that it's not clear. Look, in my opinion, it's going to be worse than today. I mean, you see, it's like fashion, it comes and goes, but it's always for 2000 years already. You have this, anti-Semitism in different form and shapes and occasions, but it was always there. They just finding different excuses, from the BDS to World War II. You can find everything in between. It doesn't scare me in terms of be able to protect it. It scares me that we are not taking actions to deal with it. So the point is, and this is something I'm proud of StandStrong, I don't think we can stop anti-Semitism in terms of it will always be existed. Why? Because hatred, it's based on ignorance and lack of education. As long as you have lack of education, you're going to have different shapes of hatred, which is anti-Semitism, probably one of the most popular ones, unfortunately. So it is what it is. But what we're doing with StandStrong, we're giving people tools to be able, if they already face this situation, to know what to do so they can get home safe, as I said. So we're not saying we're going to stop anti-Semitism. We're just going to give people to be safe when it happens. At least this is the minimum requirement. I think another thing that comes from that we see from StandStrong, especially with campuses, when we're working with campuses, which is interesting, when people are trained or when people feel more safe, they feel more confidence. We build their self-esteem and self-confidence. And what happened is they start to speak up more. So you start to see that, for instance, what the BDS does well, they're very aggressive. Well, I'm not saying I'm proud of it. It's wrong, but like this is what they do well. So we need to acknowledge that they're very aggressive. They trying to pump, and they if you will see like a proud Jewish students and a BDS students, the BDS will be louder. I'm not saying he's right. It's just going to be louder. So what we're basically trying to do is to give those students the confidence to speak up and not be afraid of the other guy being aggressive. This is the minimum requirement. So, and I'm not talking about the education part or the content. I'm talking about projecting and be able to stand up. Listen, like if you don't feel confidence to say what you believe, then what are you doing? Like, you're doing everything wrong. It doesn't matter what you think if nobody, and even you, not proud of it, you know. Um, so yeah, this is a big part for us, for StandStrong, to fight the anti-Semitism. But
Right. So it's very interesting. You also that you were saying you teach self-esteem. So you teach them emotional intelligence. That it's also it's is it as important as physical?
yes, so I think if that's a great point. I think I will say 50% or 50% of the values that StandStrong bring to the table is, first of all, the self-defense skills. Let's put it aside. This is essential. This is important, no question. But besides those one, what we're trying to do is to bring this rough mentality that sometimes you see Israelis, especially IDF soldiers, have, the chutzpah. We like to call it the chutzpah in the Jewish world. We also, by giving the right messaging. So, for instance, we're not trying to scare people out or give them like more stress to think about. What we're trying to say: listen, guys, you might face it, hopefully not, but this is what you do. And then we show them they are capable of handling it. So instead of scare them out, we actually trying to empower them, to give them this confidence. So I think it gives you tools mentally and physically equally. I think, um, like healthy, you cannot be like, your body cannot be healthy if you mentally you sick, or you're in stress, or you're in panic. It goes together, so it's kind of like the perfect balance between the mentally health, or the toughness that you need to have in life, to the physical challenges. So this is, we found like amazing ways. So, for instance, one thing that we're doing that is not like anybody else, this is kind of like our secret sauce during the session, is, and people love it, is that, imagine that you see me now behind the screen, and I'm teaching you how to protect your face, for instance, like we discussed. So while we drill it together, we have another instructor just sitting, you don't see him, he's sitting behind a huge screen, and he's watching all the students, and he gives them tips about the form, how to do the technique well, how to encourage them. So we integrate a lot of fitness for main two reason is, first of all, because we all pretty much stuck at home, and we want to stay in good shape and healthy, and feel good with our body. That's one thing. The second thing is, in a real life scenario, you're gonna feel very stressed, panic, adrenaline, your heart racing, and all those feelings, that it's like soreness and surprise, that we're trying to simulate those situations. So once practice bring perfect, it's just basically, the more you practice it, the better you will be able to handle it. And the fact that you integrate this fitness during the session, that builds also the mental component of the training, which is like highly important.
Oh, that's very, very important. So you simulate, for example, I'm here with you, and then somebody suddenly can come from behind and scares me.
So ask again the question. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. So you were saying that you teach, like you simulate the situations of actually facing an attack, an anti-Semitic attack. So, for example, the students there, like your students that are in these sessions, they can be like here, and suddenly you send like an instructor from behind, or something like that.
So, so, so imagine now you standing in front of the camera, and I teach you how to push somebody away if he comes to your personal space or is trying to hurt you. Like, push, it's the most intuitive thing to do, and it's very smart, because you're creating space. If you have space, you're safe at this point, right? So while we training, drilling the push, we have another instructor that watching you and encourage you and give you tips, and kind of like, guys, this is how it's gonna feel. I know you sore, I know you're tired, keep going, so it's kind of like really encouraging, and really like it's like you have me in the room with you, that I can show you how to do it, and I can correct your form, and I can encourage you. Like in the gym, when your personal trainer say, come on, three more, let's go, push it. It's really helping you because he's like on top of that. He cares about you, and he's monitoring your progress. Yeah. So, but our curriculum based on our curriculum per your question, our curriculum based on a real life common situations. We're starting for something more easier to handle, and while we go to level bet, we're talking about close confrontation and dynamic situation and escalated situation. If somebody is trying to choke you, how to escape from that, and other things. So we really cover vast variety of situation, but we're trying to teach very practical tools that basically are good tools for every person, every individual, regardless of their size or physical ability or their age. This is just great tools to know, regardless anything. And these tools will bring you from point A to point B safer if you are to face the situation.
Oh, wow. Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we do. We love it. We see the value, and I think it's. I mean, look, we've been teaching so far around since COVID around 35,000 students
Wow.
from 28 different countries,
Wow.
since it's all via Zoom. So we had students, actually, we had from Jordan, from Iran, we had from Romania to Costa Rica, like everywhere. So every continent almost. I think maybe Australia, not yet, but we'll get there.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll get there hopefully. And then yeah, I mean, and you see the impact it does, and you see what they talk about. We have a survey in the end of the course that they completing, and they give us feedback, and you see the surveys so far, knocking on the wood, is very very positive.
That's amazing. I'm so glad you're being successful with Stand Strong. It's so important for the Jewish community.
I agree.
Actually, in I don't see it much here in the US, but I'm from Venezuela, and in many countries, in many Latin American countries, they have something called koach or bitajon,
Yes.
where they train some people to be outside the synagogues in case something happens.
Right.
Do you have like any partnership? Are you planning to have like any partnership on teaching them? Maybe you know more than them, like you can teach them like new techniques.
I think it's important point what you're raising. So something, just to know, it's something we are talking all the time with the board level, with our board, of doing it. I will tell you something that personally is very important for me. I want to teach the common people, like every person, every kid, and basically we're focusing on the next generation because we want to give kids confidence. Because once the kids will have confidence, they will have they will have confidence when they're adults. It's
Yeah,
kind of like a ball, snowing ball. Sorry. So we are talking about it. It might happen, but I think now I want to focus on people that have no training and they want to feel more empowered, basically. Um, and also another thing that I don't want to get involved with is firearm. Although I used to do it, in my military service. Then after the military service, I work for the Ministry of Defense in the security teams that building security plans for facilities. I don't want to go to firearms. I think it's two different words. What we're teaching people is like the scenario that I told you with this guy and this homeless in the alley. Uh, you know, you saw I didn't needed to raise a finger. So like if I get to this is ideal situation. So again, I think maybe at some point we're gonna have a department maybe to help those synagogues that have those volunteers to protect the synagogues or other Jewish centers. But for now, I really enjoying focusing on just the audience, just people that really care about their kids or about themselves and want to learn that.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, lead lead, as they say in
Lat,
English.
lat, exactly. Slowly but surely.
That's true. And changing a little bit the topic,
Okay.
but since you say that anti-Semitism is gonna be only worse, do you think that there's gonna be a future for the Jews in the U.S.? I don't know if you remember, like before the pandemic, there were so many attacks in New York.
I think we are in a critical moment when it will go one way or another, and I will explain. So if you take, and again, that's the truth of the matter, I have no interest, no knowledge in the US politics. Okay, so I just want to make it clear. But if you're taking one of the parties in the US, which is the Democrats right now, and again, I'm not saying anything good or bad, but in the Democrat Party, and that's the point, is you have, I think, like 5 or 6 people that are proudly, I will say for them, proudly they are anti anything related to Israel or even Jewish, I will say, just in a disguise. But they focus now on Israel, but we all know that this is a Jewish thing. So why I think it's a critical moment, because go back 10 or 20 years ago, that was not even acceptable in the government level. You never faced something like that. It was like just, it was, there is no such a thing. Even if you had one person, nobody agreed with him. But now you have 5, or maybe even in 10 years from today, you're going to have 20. Now, why? Because the BDS is very loud, as I said. They're trying to push it as much as you can, much as they can, unfortunately. And then what happened is people that don't know the really true in Israel, I came from Israel, I can vote for, this is an amazing country, and people are welcomed from every spectrum of the communities. So what's going to happen, more people in the future that now in college and then in 20 or 15 or 10 years from today will be in the government, they will see it as an acceptable thing. So the point is that 5, it's something we can live with, but it's already like a Pandora box. It's, you open the box, and now you can have in 30 years from today, you can have 50 or 100. I don't know. Again, doesn't matter the number. The point is that it will be acceptable. And once it will be acceptable, and it's going to be, the rule and not the exception, then I think that's when it's going to be very bad for Jewish people in the US, because we will pretty much focus only on that besides anything else. And this is what the history shows us. Listen, this is how it started. It started with small and it's growing. So I think, based on your question, I think this is going to be a critical moment, that what we're going to do now will affect the future of your question, if people feel safe in the US, if Jewish people feel safe in the US. I hope that we will, and I believe, but I think we have to do a lot of actions now to make sure that's the reality in the future.
Wow, great, great way of thinking. I like it.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's always like that. It's the history.
And Lior, we're kind of running out of time, and I say kind just to be kind, but we are running out of time. Lior, what will be your one message for the Jewish community in Florida and around the world? Your message from yourself and from StandStrong.
I think our job is to come together, help each other. But I think, especially in Florida, from the last 3 months that I'm pretty much here and I see, the community is very, very close. I mean, in some degree, closer than what I faced, for instance, in Chicago. What are my only message is, let's welcome more people to the community, because we have to show that we're sharing values with other people. As Jewish people, we're saying Or Lagoim in Hebrew. We want to be the light for others, to show them that we can help them. So I think even with StandStrong, we definitely targeting. We started with the Jewish community. I'm an Israeli. Nobody's hiding it. But we don't want to give it only for Jewish people, because we understand that if you teach other people, this education, we talked about it, it's ignorance and lack of education. So if you educate people about what we're doing, you will see a better result. So I think for other communities, stand strong together, okay, and stand together, and also trying to find the ways to bring more people to the community, to make them feel like they are part of our family. We are obligated to help other communities, and I think the Jewish community is pretty good at that, but it's something we'll have to keep doing.
Amazing. Great, great. Lior, thank you so much for being our guest. We really enjoy it. I'm sure everyone will enjoy it. And I'm sure that from here, many people will subscribe to
I wish, yes.
sessions level Aleph, Bet, Gimel, even if you have level Taf.
Yeah. We have also a lead team, which is we're trying to build the next leaders of our program. But yeah, I mean, start with small and baby steps. It's fine. It's progress takes time.
Right? Yeah, it takes time, but it's gonna be great.
Right.
Lior, so if people want to know more about StandStrong, they should go to.
StandStrong.org, our website. From there, you can check our social medias. You can register free of charge, as I mentioned, and you will see there you have a page of courses, upcoming courses, and you can pick any course you want and join us anytime for free. We would love to see you there, and you will enjoy amazing workout and amazing skills to learn physically and mentally.
Amazing. I love that you combine both of them.
Yes, it's important.
Amazing. Lior, thank you so much and hope to see you soon.
Yeah,
Or
likewise.
in,
Right.
right now.
And hopefully we'll talk soon. Yeah, again. But I hope you guys also succeed. I'm personally following your Instagram page, so I encourage everybody, guys, follow them. They are showing the love, showing some good content there. So thank you for that too.
Thank you so much, Lior. Have a wonderful, wonderful.
The the way we're finishing a stand strong session is muscling up. Be proud. So guys, everybody stand strong, and thank you very much.
I will do it. I don't have too much muscle, but
It's
I'll do
fine.
it. Stand strong.
We work on that. We work on that.
Work on it.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.